another Lex's Office step-by-step video tutorials. My name is Papa Lex and I thank you so much for joining me today. In this short video, I am going to show you two things. One, how to adjust rows and columns in Microsoft Excel. And two, how to hide and unhide columns and rows in Microsoft Excel. But before I start, please, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, take this opportunity to subscribe, share this video, like, and leave a comment. Now let me start with adjusting columns and rows. When entering data into a spreadsheet, you may need to adjust the column width or row height depending on the size of your entry. And this is because entries that are too wide for a particular cell location may extend into one or more column or maybe appear truncated. And so in the example that we have on the screen, you may see that cell A2, A4, A7 and A9 shows the symbol hashtag, the hashtag symbol. Okay, and in some example you may also see that your entry, that is data that you have entered in Excel, also appears in scientific notation. So this is the scientific notation, and this isn't the actual data that I entered into my spreadsheet. Okay, this indicate that the column is too narrow for these numbers, and so it cannot appear properly. Okay, now you have to prevent the entries in example from being truncated, okay, or showing the scientific notation. And this, we have to expand the width of the column and the height of the rows. So this is how we can do that. So there are 3 or 4 methods that we can apply to adjust columns and rows in Excel. First, place your cursor in between two columns. That is the column that you want to expand. And so this one, we want to expand the column C. So you place your cursor in between column C and D. And so when you place it in between the column, your cursor will change from white plus into a double plus arrow. Okay, now you left click. You can left click. First method, you can left click and then drag. Okay, and your column will open, it will expand for the entry to fit in. Okay, another method is also when you place your cursor in between these two columns, you can also left click and go to column width, and this is the column width. You can change the number from, let's say, 6.67 to, let's say, 15. You enter and it will increase. Okay, the column width will increase. Okay, so that is also another method. Okay, alternatively, when the cursor changes from a white plus sign to a double black arrow, double click with the mouse button and the column will automatically expand to fit the longest entry that has been typed. When you place your cursor in between these two columns, you just double click. You just double click with your mouse, okay, and your column will automatically expand to fit the largest entry. And this method is especially helpful. It is helpful especially when you are working with large spreadsheets where you cannot see the largest entry on your screen. Okay, so when you do this, so you can place your cursor here, you double click and it will expand to fit the largest entry, the largest data that you have entered. So that is it. And we can also apply the same method here. You double click and it will expand. You just place your cursor in between. So we can also adjust the column B by selecting column B, go to Home tab, click on Format, go to column width, and then select, let's select 20. Let's enter 20 and it will open so that Greater Accra will not be truncated. We can also apply the same method to increase the width of column C. Okay, can also increase the width of column C. Go to column width, and this time let's enter 15 and it will increase. So that is it. That is how you can adjust your rows and columns in Excel. Now the next thing that we are going to look at is to hide and unhide columns and rows. How to hide and unhide columns and rows. This is because in some cases you may want to hide a column or row in worksheet. Hiding columns or rows might make worksheet data easier to read, okay, depending on its use. And so let's say in this example, we are only interested in order date, region, rep, and the total cost. We want to, hide item, units, and unit costs. This, we don't want to delete it. We don't want to delete these columns. Why? Because we might need it later. We may later need these columns. Okay, so we don't want to delete or move it anywhere, but we want to hide it. Okay, so this one we want to hide column D, E, and F. We want to hide item, unit, and unit cost. So what do? You highlight column D through F. Okay, the range is D, E, and F. You highlight it, and then you go to the home tab where we are already. Then you click on format. You go to hide and unhide, and you hide columns. Click on hide columns, and those columns are hidden now. So that is, we can also hide rows. So let's say we want to hide rows 3 to 7. We select those rows number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then you go to the home tab, you click on format, you go to hide and unhide, then you hide rows. Okay, so that is how to hide and how to hide rows and columns in Microsoft Excel, because hiding columns is a valuable feature. It's a valuable feature because you do not have to move or delete data from a worksheet you may need in the future. So to unhide, assuming now you need it and you want to unhide, what you have to do is that you highlight those two columns that have the hidden columns in between. So what you need to do is that you highlight the two columns that have the hidden columns in between. Okay, so now column D, E, and F are in between column C and G. So you highlight column C and G, you go to home tab, click on format again, go to hide and unhide. Now we are on hiding columns, so you select on hide columns, and the column that we earlier hidden will appear for us. Okay, what about the rows? The rows 3 through 7 are found in between row 8, 2 and 8. So if we want to unhide those rows, we select row 2 and 8 together. You go to home tab, format, go to hide and unhide, and you unhide rows, and your rows will appear. So that is also another way to hide and unhide rows. Okay, that's great. And thank you so much for joining this class. See you in another class. Welcome to another LexisOffice step-by-step video tutorials. My name is Papa Alex and I thank you so much for joining me today. In these tutorials, I am going to show you two things, and these are how to adjust columns and rows in Excel, and two, how to hide and unhide columns and rows in Excel.